What's up, everyone? My name is Troy from TechGamesEtc, and yeah, this is the Battlefield 1 review, and my top 4 reasons of why I believe that this game was not worth the money. But before I start, I want to let y'all know that I did not play the campaign. I'm mostly into the multiplayer. I'm not saying that the campaign or story mode was bad. It's just that when I play games online, I play most of my games online, and when I try to do the story mode, I can't do it. It's like versus the computer versus, you know, playing online with real actual people. So I only can play like 30 minutes of it and I stopped playing it. But also I want to let y'all know that this game was good. It has some good stuff about it. Like, for example, I like that it worked on day one. Now, the Early Enlister Deluxe Edition came out on Tuesday, and the official launch is going to come out tomorrow. I'm going to try to release this video on the same day of release on Friday, because I don't know if EA lifted the embargo for people to put up their reviews on YouTube, and I don't want to get my channel flagged or my video taken down or whatever. So this review is going to go up on the same day as launch. And if you paid extra for the early enlister version, I got the Xbox One version and the PS4 version, but I played on PC. I got it also on PC, and playing it at 1080p 60 frames per second, it spoiled me, you know, so I didn't get around to the Xbox One version or the PS4 version. Now, let's talk about some of the things that I did like about this game. Some of the games that they did get right that I just like. You know, fair is fair. So I liked how it worked on day one. I didn't have really any bug issues or launching this game or having this game work. Riding the horse still is my fave. The ragdoll physics, the explosions creating craters on the map, I like that. The control, the destruction, the sound effects, and the dynamic weather, which is great. You know, ever since I played the beta, I thought EA was stepping in the right direction, but I was actually let down. This is one of probably the worst Battlefields I've ever played ever since Hardline, and that's saying a lot. So we're going to go through my top 4 reasons of why I believe that this game is not worth the money. I'm going to start at number 4 and work all the way up to my number 1, which is the most offensive of all of them. So let's start off with number 4. The game modes. The game modes really feel unbalanced. There are 6 game modes at launch when this thing launches. You have Operations, Conquest, Domination, Rush, TDM, and a new mode, War Pigeons. And also Operations is a new mode as well, but I don't consider it a new mode. I'll explain later. So let's talk about Operations. Operations is pretty much a blend of Conquest, Domination, and Rush. Now, if you knew the Battlefield, Conquest is just pretty much an all-out upscale war where you gotta control points. You have vehicles, you have planes, you have tanks, and things like that. Domination is pretty much where you have to just control certain points of the map without any vehicles. It's a much smaller map, low scale type of battle. And Rush is pretty much you have one side that is attacking, trying to blow up telegrams, and they have another side defending. Operation is just a blend of that. Instead of like in Conquest where you win a map, you go to your lobby, go to another map, you just keep going through the section, which is like Rush. And also, you still got to control the points like Domination. It's not really a game mode to me. I just don't think it's enough to call it a new game mode. It's just 3 modes in one, basically. So also, another imbalance dealing with Operation, the losing side gets help from it's called a behemoth. Have you seen like any of the trailers where there's a huge blimp? Well, the behemoth, depending on what map you on, because I know there's a ship that helps you on one map, that's called something I forgot, but there's also the Behemoth, which is a blimp, and it's really unbalanced, like super unbalanced. It's to assist the losing team. So I was like, when you play it, I've actually played it, and to try to shoot the Behemoth down, they don't really give you enough vehicles, especially in like Rush. I like Rush. I think Rush should have more vehicles, same way as Operations should. Now also, now y'all watching a clip right now of me playing War Pigeons. Now War Pigeons is a fun mode. There's some moments in War Pigeons, don't get me wrong. I played it more than other modes. War Pigeons is pretty much like this, and it has its unbalanced issues as well, which I'll explain later. But War Pigeons is pretty much how it sounds. A pigeon will appear on a map somewhere. Both sides have to go and fight to get the pigeon. And what you have to do, the person that gets the pigeon has to find cover so they can write a note. You'll see a little meter at the top trying to fill up. And the thing about it is, when you do complete the writing process, you have to be outside to let the war pigeon up. Now the opposing team can shoot the war pigeon, so you will lose that pigeon and another pigeon will respawn. But let me tell you, when the pigeon you successfully let the pigeon go and the pigeon flies away, the pigeon will actually give you an artillery strike. Like, if you ever wondered what Call of Duty would look like with the Frostbite engine, when there's an artillery strike, it's the most beautiful thing you'll ever see. Missiles will fall from the sky, and whatever soldier you hit on the opposing team, you will get that death. You will get that point for their death, which is phenomenal. And I love that, man, those airstrikes, like, it can go through buildings. Buildings can topple you, but sometimes the buildings you don't die from the building debris. Sometimes, depends on what building, you can fall from the debris when you're on the streets. But sometimes if you're in a building, debris falls, you don't, which is something you need to work on, but it's not a deal breaker to me. But the imbalance of it is, when, say you're in a writing process and you have the pigeon, and I shoot your soldier, his teammate can pick up the pigeon and the writing process doesn't start over again. I think that's kind of an imbalance, because it should start over again. You should take it and run with it again and try it again, because it's like it gives that unfair advantage of, like, we just shot the person that was writing, and if you pick up the pigeon again, your teammate, they should start the writing process all over again. Also, there was another issue dealing with War Pigeons where if you stand still, you'll write faster, like much faster. That's imbalancing, because it's like, it feels as though that should be slower to give enough time for the opposing team. Because one of the flaws with War Pigeon is, you can call it a flaw, or you can call it a strategy. Leave it in the comment section what you think it is. You can, when you get a pigeon, you gotta find a place in the map. Most of the time, people will run to the end of the map, so there's some type of choke point where there's just one entry, one exit. So to enter, you gotta exit it through the same way. And what you'll do, you'll sit back and just pluck people off who are trying to fight for the pigeon. If that's the case, you can keep that, but they should make the writing process much slower, regardless if you stand still or not, just to give people ample time to fight for the pigeon. But it's a good mode, but that was the only way, that was the only thing that was imbalanced about it. One of the many things that was imbalanced about it. Number 3, which is one of the biggest offenses, because it leads to my number 2, which we'll talk about much later. The progression and ranking system needs to be taken out. Because the reason why they did this is because of my number 2, which I'll explain later, like I said. Overall rank, they have an overall rank and a class rank. Now, they ditched one of the things that I liked about Hardline is, like, to unlock weapons, you just had to have the money. If you had the money, boom, 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 boom. But the progression system here feels like it's dragging on because of my number 2, which I said I will get to later. But the thing about it, the ranking system drags on because you have two ranks. You have your overall rank. If I can show you a picture of it or show you the backdrop, you have like, I'm a level 10. By the time this video aired, I'll be a level 10. Like, my rank is a level 10. But my class rank is about a 4. The class rank is the only way you can unlock your guns, your class rank, not your overall rank. I've never in the history of Battlefield, all the way going back to Bad Company 2, which was my favorite, still is my favorite of all time. Then it goes to Battlefield 3, which did the same format. Every time you go up with the overall rank, your guns get unlocked and things like that. I had to play for so long to really figure out. I don't even know how to get up my class rank. I really try to figure it out, but I think the more I kill or the more objectives I do, it will go up. Some guns require you to be at 11-10 on that class rank. It feels like such a grind. But that leads to my number 2 of why they put this ranking system in. But before I get to that of my number 2, overall number 2 is just lack of content. The lack of content. Lack of game modes, lack of guns. Like, even at the launch of this game, there's not enough game modes. There's 3 modes that are locked. Your custom servers, you can set up custom servers, hardcore mode, and fog of war. Fog of war is pretty much, I don't know why this should be a mode, but I read a description when I went under the custom mode. Fog of war is pretty much, you can't see 2 feet in front of you. These maps are going to be heavy with fog. I don't get it because the thing about it, the dynamic weather on this game, you do have some fog. I don't know why this would make this game mode, but the lack of content dealing with game modes, I think there should be a lot more, and especially a lot more variety. That's just what this is how I feel. Now, let's get to this guns. This is the biggest offense, but my number 1 is still the bigger one. The lack of guns, like I said in my review of the beta, I said this is what they're doing. The reason why they put that ranking system in there is because they have a lack of guns. They are the biggest offenders of this one. EA, y'all gotta stop doing this. What they're gonna do is your arsenal, like I roll with assault class, the best class ever. You know what I'm saying? All these guns, some of these guns are duplicates of the same model gun. All they do was just tweak the damage, the hip fire, the accuracy, the control, and they call it a brand new gun. That is not true. I don't think that's worth the grind for. Like, there's 16 slots. I think there's 15 by default, but I think I unlocked something because I pre-ordered the game. I don't know if it's like 15 total. But anyway, 15 slots. If I give y'all a visual representation of this, if you take away the duplicates, there's only, what, 5 or 6 actual different model guns. See, developers do this to make you feel like you have content when you really don't. When I stick with one gun, I stick with one gun, but just to have the option to see what else is there. The ranking system here is put in place so you can get this stuff slowly. But when you get a duplicate of the gun, what really changes? And this is a lack of content that I'm talking about. Give us more content than what you have. But the biggest offender of them all, in my top list, the top 4 list, is that they killed Team Deathmatch. This game has some of the worst map designs I have ever experienced. Now, I know we had our classics in Battlefield 3, our classics in Bad Company 2, but the design of these maps are so horrible that I can't remember. They feel so similar that I don't know if I played a map yet, because there's 9 maps here. Don't get me wrong. At first I was like, they should have more maps. I was like, nah, that don't fall under lack of content. Their design of these maps are so horrible. Like, TDM is no longer playable. I love TDM. I love Team Deathmatch. I play Team Deathmatch all the time. And the design of these maps are way too open. You talk about camping, you talk about being shot in the back, play TDM. The maps are way too open. Sometimes it's a lack of cover. Sometimes the person at the highest point has the most advantage. And you can say, yeah, that's strategy, blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you, TDM is a waste of time. Now, the only time I play TDM if I get bored with other modes, but I know what I'm walking into. TDM needs to be back to I'll play TDM for hours on any other battlefield except Hardline, but any other battlefield before Hardline, and also probably Battlefield 4, because the maps were way too big for the number of players they had. But anyway, back to Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2, I will play TDM all day, every day. Yeah, the maps just feel way too similar. Open spaces, camper heavy. EA, y'all dropped the ball on this one. Y'all really dropped the ball on this one. And this video is just to help the community. It's just to help the Battlefield community. That's it. But there y'all go, man. There y'all have it. I did so many takes just to get this video, and I think I got it right. But thank y'all so much for watching. If y'all have any feedback for me, if what y'all think of the video, put it in the comment section below. If you like what you saw today, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps out a lot. I try to post videos every week. Depending on the content, it may take me a week. I can probably post a live stream or whatever. But there y'all go, man. There y'all have it. See you later. Thanks a lot.